straight from the land, from the rising sun. What's happening, people? Really excited today because we got the good stuff. It's, you know, I've always kind of like not skipped snap-on or any like expensive ratchets for the main reason that it was being expensive. So I kind of like went along with like mid-range stuff, gear wrenches you probably seen on some of my other videos, gear wrench, some other name brands as well. Not really the expensive ones, but as I've been doing a big change, kind of like in my work of field, and then kind of like coming to some new stuff and getting really more serious with my work. I've pulled the trigger and then finally purchased the proper ones. I mean, they're not the proper ones, but it's kind of like my choice of poison. Looked at them up online. You know, they cost an arm and a leg, to be honest. You know, nothing cheap about them. You know, similar prices to Snap-on, or, you know, the good tools of what you expect to be, you know, not cheap and then being proper tools themselves. Anyone familiar with these tools? Yes, they are from the land, from the rising sun, Japan. Okay, kind of like cost another fortune, import taxes and what's or not. I mean, 2 ratchets cost me about £150. And then these are kind of like the, I mean, this like not lower quality, but kind of like same with Blue Point and Snap-on. I think these ones are kind of like the Blue Point. The more like Skookum ones from Nepros, they were like gonna cost me like around $250 or something like that, not including taxes. So I had to pay like for the price another £50 odd taxes. So 2 ratchets cost of £200 ain't cheap if you ask. You know, real good like presentation. I mean, you're paying something of high value. You know, the thing ain't cheap, so you expect it to be like treated as high value. Beautiful cases, whatsoever, not cheap accessory whatsoever. And starting off, I mean, I got a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch non-flex head. I might get the flex head in future when I save up a bit more money, because, you know, I'm kind of like broke now. But anyway, we're starting off, well, let's start off with the big guy. Starting off with the big guns again. I mean, you know, it's all about the details. I mean, what tool do you buy and then it comes in like a box like this? You know, no like everything detailed, like perfect finish. Even the stamp on there, like it looks like high quality stamp. Obviously, it's got the part number, and obviously Nepros is built from a company like bigger group, KTC, kind of like, you know, like Milwaukee and DeWalt, that is owned by bigger corporations and stuff. But yeah, you know, it just I mean, you got the part number here, so that's NBR 390L. L stands for like the, you know, the long one, and then you got the part number on here as well, just in case, you know, you didn't get it. But yeah, slides off beautifully. I mean, yeah, it's just I mean, I'm gonna keep the boxes. Fuck that, I'm keeping the boxes. It's just, it looks so nice. So slides over there in another box. Come on, really? You know, how much better can it get? So taking the box, perfect fit, man. I mean, tight fit, man. That, you know, it ain't a loose fit, man. That just kind of like, you know, slacks off and stuff. You can see all the details, you know, the edges and everything is kind of like, you know, they even put foam on there, keep the ratchet, and, you know, there's the magnificent piece right there. Woo! Feels good. I mean, just put this one right here for now. You know, when you get a good tool in your hand, it feels like, you know, the passion, the care, the kind of like the detail for eye that's been put into the tool before, you know, they finish the product and then they send it out to you. It just, you know, it just feels, man, it feels so good. Obviously, some nice details over here. They got like a little rubber Buna end over here, kind of like, you know, in case, you know, it gives you extra grip, you know, because it hasn't got any knurling over here. So it's got the Buna end over there, kind of like rubber O-ring. Gives you like some texture grip. Obviously, when you're working in the field, you might get oil in your hands, what's or not. I mean, what will be all been there. kind of like have some extra grip. In terms of the, you know, the ratchet itself, beautiful design. I like the fat grip over here that you get a good chunk of your hand over there, and then it kind of like tapers, kind of like gets slimmer on the top end. Beautiful head over here. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, the shine on that is just beautiful polish. No messing about with that one. Kind of like, obviously you can see the logo in there, like Nepros 92 over there, with the stamp and everything. Switch mechanism, it just, I don't know if you can hear that, but it just feels so mechanically, the satisfaction of the mechanical changing from one position to the other. It just feels so, the engagement, it just feels so, you know, like, you gotta feel this. It's like, you know, I mean, I've worked with snap-on tools before. I've, you know, used ratchets and whatnot, whatever. You know, they're nice and all that. But for me, these ones, you know, from Japan, they stand out. So that's why I'll postpone getting anything from snap-on and then pull the trigger on these. Not that I got anything against snap-on. I mean, by all means, you know, they're good tools. It's just, for me, this one stands out more. And then I'm more of a kind of like Japanese fan overall. I mean, my pliers, my Fujita pliers, I went and bought them. You know, I could have got an Nipex. Maybe I will get an Nipex, but that's a different story. Concentrating onto the tool. Again, polish, finish, everything. The machine work, so nice. As for the ratcheting, oh yeah, that feels good. That feels good. And then obviously the other side, you know, obviously flat. The push button over here is flat on this one. Kind of like make some extra clearance on the tool itself. I don't know if you can see that. Some other tools, you know, the push button kind of like sticks out, and then that one sometimes get in the way. With this one, it doesn't. But yeah, really excited to use this tool. Obviously, excited and disappointed at the same time, because I'm excited that I got the tool, but I'm disappointed that I'm gonna use the tool, probably use the shit out of it. It's gonna have wear, scars, and all of that. But I do want to use the tool, so it's kind of like, you know, you get the good stuff, but you want to keep it like all in good shape and all of that, away from scratches and what's or not. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, the tool, you know, I purchased it to use it, so you know, it's gonna be, you know, along with my journey, being a technician out in the field. As for the remainder of the box, again, beautiful sort of layout. Obviously, you got the logo over here. You got some foam, like kind of like heart foam over here, that where the ratchet sits. I mean, you know, it's well you know, thought of. Like, you know, they didn't just make a box, chuck it in there, and then put some bubble wrap and then send it away. It's kind of like, you know, the way the tool is represented. It just gives a sense of seriousness and then professionalism in, you know, when you buy this tool. Obviously, in a David 90 gear, KTC Japan. I don't know if you can see that one. Yeah, nice details. We'll be keeping the box as a like a kind of like a memory thing, or when I bought the tool and stuff. But yeah, it feels nice, man. It feels nice. Obviously, if you go onto the website, you know, they got other stuff on there. I wanted to get the little kind of like extended bit that is kind of like a spinner. So basically, you know, when, you know, sockets, they got some knurling on some sockets, but this one is kind of like an extra like gear in between the socket and the ratchet. So, you know, you want to like loosen it or fasten it like that. You know, it's a nice little gadget. You know, so, you know, helps you out like with efficiency when, you know, you're putting things back together. But yeah, I mean, obviously flex set ratchets, the stubby ones. I want to get stubby ones, but you know, they cost another fortune. So it's a slow process. I mean, I got 2 ratchets for now. Maybe in the future I will invest in some more, you know, proper stuff. Again, same beautiful design box over here, clean cut. You know, it's a tight fitting, and then, you know, when something is a tight fitting, it shows the precision that, you know, it was taken while making not just the tool, but the fitment, but, you know, the boxes, the packaging, and all of that. You know, it just, that's cool for me. Core wrench over here, went in again with a long one. Just put the ratchet to the side. I don't know if you can see that. not on over there. That's just the cap. Similar, you know, sort of thing. You got like a little foamy bit here, you know, taking good care of the tool, maintaining it in the position that it's in. Good package, not good, brilliant packaging if you ask me. Same with the external box. You have the label over here, obviously in Japanese, so everyone who understands Japanese, then they know what it says. For those who don't, including me, I mean, I did try to learn Japanese, but trust me, it's difficult. Obviously, give it enough time and effort, and, you know, put in the work. Anyway, part number on this is going to be NBR 290L. L again, I believe it's going to stand for like the, you know, the long version ratchet. I mean, I like the short ones, but I like my ones long, so I get the extra leverage. And then obviously to the side should be, yeah, on this side of the box. Again, the part number, just in case you lose it or whatever. You know, you lose this one and then you don't have it. I mean, it says on the tool itself, but, you know, it's just details, man, details. Like, you know, you giving, you know, it's anything. Like, you know, you buy an expensive car. Well, obviously now there's expensive cars. You know, that's a whole different story. But back in the day, you buy an expensive car. You know, it's like engines that they're like not mass produced, but they're kind of like built by a certain person or whatever, you know, hand built. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, for instance, Nissan GTR, every engine on it is a hand built engine. It's not mass produced. You got the machines, blah blah blah, whack it all together in like 5 minutes and then, you know, send it off. I mean, Mercedes as well, some AMG engines, I don't know, you know, how many of them are still hand built, but, you know, when you open the hood and then you see the logo onto the engine, you know, hand built by, you know, whoever built it, you know, that gives you a sense of satisfaction. Like the you know, the care that's been taken to obviously produce the product. Similar with the core range, fucking epic, mate, if you ask me. Nice long design over here, because obviously I wanted the longer handle for extra leverage. This one doesn't have the rubber O-ring. I think this one is kind of like, you know, the not the cheaper, but it's kind of like the same with the Blue Point Air Snap-on. This ain't the top end ratchet over there, or if they, I think they don't make it with the O-ring. I'm not sure. I mean, I just had a quick look on the website. Don't judge me on that, but really and truly, all the tools, they're epic, if you ask me. Obviously 92 as well. Nice. I mean, you know, you need some kind of like slow motion or some really high quality microphone to hear this and enjoy it. I mean, that feels, oh man, that is porn right there, mate, if you ask me. Anyway, switch lever, same positive engagement, gives you like a nice feeling of engagement, switching from reverse to forwards. Eye for detail over here again, full polish, brilliant polish if you ask me. I mean, I can see my face, nice and clear. D10 on this, I believe, because it's the core range. Obviously, they didn't have enough room to put the push button, release button inside. So I mean, I believe it's because it's a core range. With the 3/8, they done it, which is nice. I mean, you know, for me, this ain't a killer. It's just, you know, for me, the ratchet is still, you know, head sized. I mean, the head size is way smaller than compared to other ratchets that I have. I mean, this one compared to my Gear Wrench 120XP is just, my 120XP is way wider, which, you know, it's a really good ratchet. You know, don't get me wrong. That's my go-to 120XP flex head. But yeah, I've never really had ratchets, I mean, I got loads of flex head ratchets because that's what I use most of the time, but solid, like old school, not old school, but let's say solid rigid ratchets, I either have like some cheaper ones, and then they're like short handled, so you don't get enough leverage, and then you gotta put like a, you know, brake not brake bar, but kind of like an extra pipe on it to get leverage or whatever. So I wanted to like have a straight, you know, ratchet, no flex or locking flex head design on there, and then that's why I picked up these first, and then maybe I'll get flex head on these as well because they're nice. Looking at externally of the tool, obviously you can see, I don't know if you can see that one, you can see that there's two screws over here holding in the whole ratchet mechanism. We are going to attempt and remove the screws, well, attempt, I mean I don't want to scratch the tool, that's what I'm trying to say, and then see kind of like the insides on both. I mean they should be similar design, obviously different in size. I don't know whether this one is going to be the right Phillips. I do believe it might be. Hope. Nah, he ain't. Back. Nah, let's just open the 3/8 one. Hopefully that's. Yeah, that looks like Phillips one. Tight. So just that shows they put some Loctite on there maybe. You know, obviously make sure do not lose the screws. I don't know if you can see that one. Maybe they put, I think they did. There is some sort of shmoo over there. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe not clearly, but they did put some sort of like thread locker of some sort. Don't quote me on that. But it is proper solid in there. Fine threads, obviously, for, you know, better fastening over there. Taking it off apart, I mean I don't know how this one is going to come off, no clue. That's what you want to see. Oh man, that just feels good. Looking at the plate, the cover plate, you know, similar to, like, this is the one thing I don't like about gear wrench is the plate, the cover plate onto the mechanism is like quite thin. So when you stretch the ratchet, like not like straight and then kind of like in an angle, the internals kind of like maybe move a little bit or whatever. I mean I had the gear wrench jammed on me a couple of times, but you know obviously most of the times I was misusing it, but you know don't quote me on that. Nice thick plate. I mean I don't know, maybe half a centimeter on that one. Obviously you got some lubrication in there. You know, obviously the finish on this, you know, amazing if you ask me. No sharp edges, no, it just feels proper machined. You know, they took the time to, you know, obviously make the clean cut and all of that. Obviously you can see the insides over here. That's going to be obviously your paw, and then, you know, where the ratchet is, you can see the, you know, change in engagement. Nice proper finish. You know, proper fitting. There's no slack, there's no kind of like wiggling about and all of that. Real, oh man, it just feels good. Just look at the clearances. I mean, this nothing moves, man. Nothing moves. Like the clearances are so fine that really and truly, you got barely enough room. I don't know if you can zoom in on that. You got barely enough room just so the ratchet can like work. So just move out on that one a little bit, kind of like So taking this one out, let's look at the ring. Make sure you don't lose anything. Obviously you can see the lubrication on here as well. You know, cheap tools they probably won't come with lubrication. Good tools they will come, as you can see over here. You know, the machining on the gear itself, everything smooth, like eye for detail, mate. Eye for detail. That's all I gotta say. Now, in terms of machining, I'm not an expert on that one, so I don't know if it looks like it's been ground or, you know, whatever machine they use to finish the product. Obviously, the inside, you can see there, everything like symmetrical, and it just looks, you know, proper job if you ask me. There's no shortcuts to making this tool. Obviously the paw, I mean I'm not going to take everything out now because I don't want to jinx the tool. But yeah, just putting everything back, it just barely fits in there. You know, it just barely, everything sits. When you make, you know, machining and all of that, I mean I'm not an expert on this, but you know, one thing that does make sense is when you're machining something, the tighter the clearance is, the harder and more expensive it is. I mean, if you think about it, on cars or whatever. You know, when you're rebuilding an engine, you've got certain clearances for what's or not. Why you think engines are so expensive? Because the machining and the cost of producing those parts, they gotta keep a a minimum maximum in between clearance, a certain clearance for everything to work as it should, but also be reliable. So good engines, with smaller clearances, obviously they're gonna be more efficient, they're gonna produce more power and yada yada yada. Obviously, when that's a big subject. If you're looking for more power and then you change material, then in terms of like heat expansion and all of that. But anyway, that's a different story. But what I'm trying to say, making a tool, machining a tool with a certain purpose, and then making everything fit like just barely, it just requires a lot of attention while making the whole process. Because if it's too, it just fits perfect, man. Jeez. If it's too wobbly, then it's kind of like the tool ain't gonna be as skookum, so it ain't gonna be as proper. It's gonna be a lot of flex to it. It won't work proper. I mean, a good tool should be taken apart, okay, and then fit everything, clamp back together, no problem. A cheap tool will probably come apart, and then when you're trying to put it back, it's gonna be like kind of like offset or whatever. A brilliant tool will come apart and then going back together, but you need to put everything back in place as it was. There's no messing about. So just putting the screws back. I mean, similar is gonna be with the 1/4 inch. Everything is beautifully made, if you ask me. Really nice. This tool is gonna last, for me, for my whole life. Probably pass it on. Same with like snap-on tools and tools like that. You just pass it on to your grandchild or whatever. If I get grandchild or whatever, you never know. But yeah, it's just real nice. It just feels good, solid tool. Just wanted something nice for for my journey that I'm going to be taking on. Will I be getting more of these tools? Probably in the future. I would like, but the cost is, something to be considered. They're not cheap. Are they nice? Fuck yeah, they're nice. Talk them to spec. That's it. But yeah, that was the video, guys. Kind of like get a view of the Nepros Ratchets. Do I recommend them? Obviously, yes. Do I recommend them based on experience? I haven't used them yet. I will use them and then see how they go. Are they nice tools to have? Fuck yeah. I'll see you in the next one.